All right, guys. Let's take a look at this. So part A, determine the end behavior. So the highest power there is 4th power. So what's the end behavior going to be? I like that. I'd like to see everybody do that.
Positive or negative is determined only on the sign of that highest power, right? Or no?
Yeah, if it's up or down, it's dependent on the sign. So if it would have been negative x to the 4th, this still has to be parabolic, just pointing down.
Okay.
Cool. How do you factor this thing? So an x squared comes out. Then you get, everybody pretty much got that. Set that sucker equal to 0 to find the x-intercepts. And like I was saying to somebody earlier, when you get further in mathematics, you might have a function that has 7 variables in it. X, Y, Z, A, B, C, D, whatever. If you want the d-intercept, you make all the other variables 0. I don't care what level of math you're in, the idea still carries. We have 2 variables, y and x. So to find the y, I make the x 0. To find the x, I make the y 0. Don't forget that. It's that simple. So here, what x-intercepts do I get?
0, 0.
0, 0. Good.
2.
You do it, Jeff. Negative 5, 0, and 2, 0. Now notice, if you ever have an x-intercept at the origin, that's automatically has to also be your y-intercept. You can only have one y-intercept. The minute it goes through the origin, that is a y-intercept also. That's the one point that's both an x and a y-intercept, because that's where they meet. But if you want to do the work, to find the y-intercept, you set x equal to 0. So you basically just do what's f of 0. Since there's an x everywhere, the whole thing goes to 0. Cool. And that just re-verifies this dude.
Find the 0 just means find the x-intercept, right?
Find the 0 just means find the x-intercept. Cool. Let's see. Oh yeah. So now we got negative 5, 0, 2. Which one of these? There's only one that has a multiplicity of 2. The other one is multiplicity of 1. The 0 comes from a multiplicity of 2, so it's going to have to stay the same on both sides. It's going to act like a parabola at 0, at where the x squared is. So all I got to do is, and again, if you want to do end behavior, I love it. That's a kick-ass shortcut. You know it's got to be up here, and it's got to be up there. If you don't like that, if you don't like the shortcut, you don't like the end behavior, weirdness, whatever, you just start plugging stuff in. You plug a 3 in, positive, 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 positive. Cool. And then you just keep going if you don't like the shortcut. I've already told you I love the shortcut. Around 2, what should it do? Through. It should go through, so it should change. So negative in here. Around the 0, it should turn, stay the same. And around negative 5, it should, just to verify this, it should, through, it should change. So it does. Thank God. How we doing?
So if it was cubish, so cubish would be that way.
Yeah, if it was negative, if it was positive x cubed, it should do like that. This thing, is that looking the right way for you guys?
It'd be positive on one side and
All right, so the last thing we got to do here is graph this thing. And as somebody pointed out, this is the famous butt graph, right? Where something's happened to one side. That's the technical term. Oh, let's see where we are. 0, 2, 5. I think you guys see why I don't do the Y scale until I get to that point where I can do something. And to tell you honestly, if you wanted to do this, I'm so used to not even worrying about the value if you do the plug and shove. But if you do start plugging in stuff, you can just kind of keep track of what that is so you can plot it. Right? You kind of know what the sign is here anyway, so you can just keep track of what the value is because you need it for it to plot it later anyway. So in here, what number could I use to plug in to get a little better feel for what this thing is doing? -3, good. So when I throw in a -3, I get 9 times 2 times -5. -90. So that's -90. Let's see. So it feels like I should maybe make a scale of 10. Let's check out. Well, that should be good enough. Let's see. So this would be -90. So at -3, it's -90. At 1, what is it?
-6.
Yeah, 1, 6, -1, so -6, I like it. Let's see, what's got scale? 10s. So at 1, it's -6, so like right there. And then finally, we could do after 3. Then we'll get 9, 72, 72. So that's kind of nice, 72 right there. Pop. Right? And those points, I'll leave them up to you, but obviously you want to kind of be in the middle of some of your intercepts so you can see how deep, how tall, or again, how deep. And then on the outside, you see how quickly it grows. So now I just got to connect these things. My end behavior was up on both sides, and it's positive there. So it comes in, goes through, comes up to 0, turns, goes through 1 here, goes through at 2, and there. Cool. How you guys doing? Too bad, right?
Why like 3?
Why? Just to see how quickly it grows on this side. Because it might even go through like this. So at 3 it might be really small, but it grew pretty quickly. Okay. How do you guys feel about that? And just to let you know, on a quiz or a test, I would pretty much step you through this, so I'm pretty damn nice when it comes to this problem. I pretty much ask you the same way I did here. Do this, do this, do this. Use all that to graph it now. Yeah?
The -3 and 1 and the other 3, those are just, it's up to you, right? Like when you, those aren't set.
So I use -3 because it's in the middle.
Okay.
Cool. And again, 1 was in the middle of those 2 intercepts.
Okay.
Just get a feel. And I want to point this out. There's no guarantee that this is the minimum. It could go lower. Yeah, and it probably does go lower. It could go lower and then come back up like that. You guys with me? But as far as we can do, that's it. Yeah.
So like for me, I chose -2 and it only got to -48. Would that be wrong? Would I lose points for that in a test?
Not, it wouldn't be wrong. You do kind of want to stay in the middle between these two. There's no guarantee that you'll hit the minimum, like I just said, but you should. That should split the difference so you get closest more often. And that's why I said, if I see something where you just somehow know where the minimum is, and it just goes there every time, I'm like, I don't think that was you. I think that was your calculator, right? So I'd rather you make that kind of mistake. It's not a mistake. It's just the best we can do by hand.
So go to the middle and go to the outside.
Second?
Go to the middle of the graph and go to the outside. Or the height. No, you know.
Oh, to the middle of the intercepts.
Middle of the intercept and then go to the outside.
On the outside. Exactly.
That's right.
So basically 1 point in every region you made. Your intercepts kind of break it into regions. So 1 point from each region is a good. Yeah. Okay.
What is the point, dude? 1 and -6. The point, where is it?
Here?
Yeah.
There?
Where's the -6?
Well, that's -10, so -6 is
Oh,
about right
okay.
there. Yeah. All right, guys.